Let me share to you 3 things you can do to her today and make your relationship bonding together. Here are 3 golden actions you can take today to strengthen your emotional connection and enrich your relationship. Speak directly to her. Heart, avoid superficial compliments. Instead of saying something generic like, "You look nice," choose words that express genuine appreciation and deeper sentiment. For instance, say something heartfelt, such as, "Your laughter still brightens my days just like it did when we first fell in love." These thoughtful words help her feel truly valued, deeply seen, and bring warmth back into your relationship. Express affection freely without expectations. Show your affection through thoughtful, spontaneous gestures without expecting anything back. Gently brush her hair away from her face. Offer her your coat when it gets chilly, or softly squeeze her shoulder as you walk past. These quiet actions speak volumes, whispering, "I am here because you matter deeply to me." Pure love, without any strings attached, nurturing a sense of trust and closeness between you both. Be fully present in everyday moments. Small gestures carry immense meaning within a relationship. Listen closely when she shares her day. Surprise her by preparing her favorite snack without being asked, or offer a gentle smile whenever your eyes meet. By consistently showing such genuine attentiveness, you create a safe and comforting space in your relationship, making her feel deeply valued, not because she feels obligated, but because she truly wants to be closer to you. My dear, after living nearly a century, I've learned a thing or two about love. These thoughtful little gestures you're making, they matter greatly and can truly warm her heart. But listen carefully, sweetheart, because this is important. Perfection isn't what she needs from you. Trust me, I've watched countless couples chasing perfection only to miss what truly matters. You see, love thrives not on grand gestures or flawless performances, but in the quiet, everyday moments where your heart shines through. You don't have to become someone else entirely or try desperately to fix every little flaw. No, child, what she truly yearns for is simply your genuine presence. Seeing her, hearing her, caring deeply about the small moments that make your relationship special. Life gets busy, I know, and sometimes it can pull you away from remembering who you truly are, the gentle, attentive man she first fell in love with. That man who could effortlessly make her laugh, who noticed every small detail, who made her feel cherished and uniquely loved. That man is still there, dear. He just needs a little encouragement to come forward again. You won't find him in big speeches or lavish gifts, but rather in quiet, consistent acts of genuine affection. Your sincere attention, your gentle warmth, these simple things have far greater power than perfection ever could. So, darling, as you continue on this journey, release the burden of perfection and simply embrace being yourself, present and real. Because when all is said and done, it's your authentic, loving presence that will make her heart sing once more. Now, let's explore together why simply being there, really there, is your most precious gift of all. Today's message isn't about blame, it's about remembering. A gentle reminder that presence, not perfection, is often what keeps love alive. Have you ever felt a quiet distance growing in your relationship? Or maybe you found a way to bring the warmth back. Share your thoughts in the comments. Your words might be the comfort someone else is searching for. If this video touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone you care about, a husband, a father, a friend. Sometimes just one small click can open a deeply meaningful door, and be sure to follow our channel. The next video may offer exactly the soft reminder you need to bring you closer and make your relationship stronger, one gentle moment at a time. Take Alice, for example. She was 73 when she entered a new relationship after a decade of living alone. At first, it was exciting. She loved having someone to talk to over dinner, someone to walk with in the evenings. But soon, disagreements started popping up. He criticized the way she managed her time. She found his constant phone calls overwhelming. What began as affection turned into control, and the stress of defending her boundaries brought back old wounds she thought she had healed. After 6 months, Alice ended the relationship and described the relief as like getting a full night's sleep after years of tossing and turning. This kind of emotional weight is not rare. Many seniors carry past traumas from previous marriages, lost partners, or family wounds. A new relationship can unexpectedly reopen those scars, and while companionship may sound comforting, it should never come at the cost of your inner peace. Staying single means fewer emotional landmines, fewer emotional roller coasters. It means choosing calm over chaos, peace over pressure. And for many, that trade-off is not just worth it, it's life-saving. Love may be blind, but money sees everything clearly. In your later years, finances are no longer about luxury or status. They are about safety, independence, and legacy. Every dollar represents your hard work, your security, your peace of mind, and maybe even something you hope to pass on to your children. Inviting someone into your life at this stage means more than sharing your heart. It often means sharing your bank account, your home, and your future. And sometimes love invites chaos into what used to be peace. Alice learned this, and so did Roger. Roger, 68, lost his wife and later reconnected with a woman from high school. It started beautifully, long walks, shared meals, laughter in the kitchen. Within months, she moved in. Roger, generous by nature, began paying for everything: dinners, small vacations, household upgrades. But slowly, he noticed his savings slipping. Her contributions to their shared expenses were vague. "Next time I'll cover it," she'd say, but next time never came. He assumed they'd split things 50-50, but the reality was more like 100-0, and when Roger finally brought it up, she turned cold, offended, defensive. That's when it hit him. He hadn't gained a partner. He had taken on a quiet burden, and it's not just about spending. Financial entanglements ripple everywhere, affecting tax brackets, social security benefits, insurance, even inheritance. Some seniors lose healthcare support if they legally remarry. Others find themselves caught between love and loyalty when their adult children express concern or resentment. What's mine? What's yours? What's ours? These aren't just questions. They're emotional triggers, and once the line blurs, it's hard to draw it again. The cruel irony is this: these issues rarely show up in the beginning, not during the sweet texts or candlelit dinners. They show up after you've let someone in, after you've rearranged your life, after you've grown attached. So ask yourself, are they adding to your peace or quietly subtracting from it? Choosing to stay single gives you full control over your financial world. You can spend, save, or give as you choose. You don't have to negotiate every purchase or defend every decision. You worked hard for your independence, and keeping your finances separate might be the very thing that protects your peace, especially if you're not in a deep relationship where both partners are fully aligned in values and priorities. Write a number 2 in the comments to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a video. Your support means the world to us and helps us keep bringing you valuable and inspiring content. Now we move forward to the next. Reason 3, loss of routine and personal space. Over the years, we shape our lives around what works for us: the cup of tea in the morning, the news station we trust, the time of day we like to nap or take a walk. These routines, while small, create a rhythm that grounds us. They give us a sense of control, comfort, and identity, especially as our world changes with age. But when a new relationship enters the picture, those routines are often the first things to shift. Louise, 70, had been living alone for over a decade. Her days were slow and intentional. She liked waking up early, sitting in her garden with a journal, then spending afternoons reading or knitting. When she began seeing someone new, she was hopeful. They spent weekends together, then gradually merged their homes. That's when the tension started. He liked to sleep in, play the TV loudly in the morning, and rearranged her kitchen without asking. Suddenly, the peace she had spent years building felt invaded. "I didn't realize how much my little habits mattered," she said, "until they were no longer mine." This kind of disruption isn't always dramatic. It's subtle, but it's felt deeply. You find yourself sharing your space again, your refrigerator, your remote control, your calendar. You negotiate everything from what to eat for dinner, to where to keep the laundry basket. And while compromise is part of any relationship, for many seniors, it begins to feel like a loss of freedom. Personal space isn't just about square footage. It's about autonomy. The ability to move through your day without adjusting to someone else's preferences, to spend your time exactly as you please, without apology or explanation. When you choose to stay single, you preserve that space. You wake when you want. You eat when you want. You don't have to schedule your life around another person's needs or moods. And for many older adults, that kind of quiet freedom brings more joy than even a deep relationship, if it costs your peace, ever could. Every senior comes face to face with the reality of declining health, either their own or someone else's. And while the instinct to care for a loved one is natural, it's important to recognize the toll it can take, especially when you're in your later years yourself. Entering a relationship after 65 may seem like a joyful step, especially when you're craving companionship or a sense of deep connection. But if that partner's health begins to fail, you might suddenly find yourself in the role of caregiver. And caregiving, while meaningful, is no small task. It can be physically draining, emotionally overwhelming, and quietly isolating. What started as a romantic partnership can gradually shift into a full-time responsibility, one that you may not be prepared for or capable of managing. George, 76, met his partner Ruth at a church gathering. They connected quickly and moved in together. After just 4 months, it felt like a second chance, a meaningful relationship that gave them both new energy. But within a year, Ruth's mobility declined. George found himself helping her bathe, managing her medications, cooking all the meals, and cleaning the house alone. He never complained, but inside he felt exhausted. His own blood pressure climbed, his sleep suffered. He stopped attending the community center events he once loved, and the peaceful retirement he'd envisioned slowly disappeared. Under the weight of constant responsibility. This isn't to say caregiving is wrong or unworthy. For many, it's a labor of love. But when you take it on unexpectedly, when it becomes your daily reality without preparation, it can lead to burnout, especially if your own health is already fragile. Choosing to remain single doesn't mean turning your back on care or compassion. It means acknowledging your limits. It means understanding that your energy is precious and finite, that the older you get, the more your body and mind require care of their own. By staying single, many seniors avoid the emotional toll of watching a partner deteriorate and protect the few years of good health they have left. Independence, at this stage of life, isn't selfish. It's a form of wisdom. Sometimes protecting your peace means setting boundaries before they're tested and recognizing that you're allowed to choose ease over effort, quiet over crisis. Write and number 4 in the comments to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a video. Your support means the world to us and helps us keep bringing you valuable and inspiring content. Now we move forward to the next. Reason 5. Family tensions and inheritance issues. Relationships later in life don't just affect the couple involved, they ripple out into the entire family. And when adult children are part of the picture, things can quickly get complicated. A new partner might be seen as a threat, as someone who's taking over emotionally or financially. And this perception, right or wrong, can create rifts that are hard to repair. Many seniors report that the decision to begin dating again, especially after a spouse passes, brings unexpected judgment or coldness from their children. Some worry that a new partner will influence decisions about money, wills, or property. Others fear that the attention they once received from a parent is now being redirected. And while their concerns aren't always valid, the feelings are very real. Martha, 66, met a retired professor at a local book club. They enjoyed quiet afternoons together and shared a love of history, travel, and rich conversation. A genuine, deep connection she hadn't felt in years. But when Martha mentioned him to her two sons, she was met with silence. Over time, that silence grew into suspicion. Her sons began questioning her decisions, her finances, her plans, her health. Eventually, the tension became so great that Martha ended the relationship just to restore peace with her family. "I never imagined that finding joy again would cost me the closeness of my own children," she said quietly. Inheritance issues can complicate things even further. If you cohabitate or marry later in life, your assets may legally shift. Your partner could be entitled to parts of your estate, even unintentionally. Without careful planning, your family may be left feeling shocked or betrayed after you're gone. And these unresolved conflicts often last far longer than the relationship itself. Staying single helps avoid many of these landmines. It allows you to maintain clear boundaries between your private life and your family life. It protects your legacy and reduces the emotional friction that often comes with blending families at an older age. You've spent a lifetime building relationships with your children, your grandchildren, your community. Preserving those bonds sometimes means choosing solitude in your personal life. Not out of fear, but out of love and foresight. It means designing a life that reflects your values, your pace, your passions. You can still love deeply, connect meaningfully, and nurture relationships with friends, with family, with yourself. But your time becomes your own again. And for many, that's the truest form of peace. Write a number 6 in the comments to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a video. Your support means the world to us and helps us keep bringing you valuable and inspiring content. Now we move forward to the next. Reason 7. Pressure to settle for the wrong reasons. Perhaps the most common, yet most quietly painful reason some seniors enter into new relationships is this: fear of loneliness, fear of judgment, fear that time is running out, that if they don't say yes now, they may never have another chance. Society tells us that being partnered is the goal, that being alone, especially as we age, is a failure. So we settle. We lower our standards. We tell ourselves, maybe this is as good as it gets, and in doing so we end up in relationships that are lukewarm, uncomfortable, or even harmful. Barbara, 69, met a man through a senior dating site. He was polite, punctual, and seemed eager for commitment, but deep down Barbara knew she didn't feel a strong connection. He didn't make her laugh, he didn't really understand her, but she said yes anyway. Because all her friends were partnered, and she didn't want to be the last one alone at the dinner table. 6 months later, she felt more lonely in the relationship than she had ever felt outside of it. This is the trap, settling out of fear rather than choosing from strength. When you let fear drive your decisions, you end up shrinking instead of expanding. You build a life around someone else's comfort instead of your own truth. And that kind of relationship, no matter how quiet or well-intentioned, eats away at the joy of your later years. But here's the truth most people don't say out loud. Being single after 65 can be one of the most empowering decisions you ever make. It allows you to focus on self-discovery, on passion projects, on healing. It gives you the space to grow in ways that relationships sometimes make difficult. And most importantly, it teaches you that peace is not something someone gives you, it's something you create for yourself. If a new relationship comes along and adds to your life without taking from it, wonderful. But if it doesn't, you have every right to say no, not because you're bitter, but because you're finally learning what truly matters. There's a quiet power in solitude, not the kind that isolates, but the kind that frees. As we age, we begin to see things more clearly. We understand that time is finite, energy is precious, and the quality of our days depends less on how full our calendars are and more on how full our hearts feel when we're alone. Staying single after 65 isn't a tragedy. It's not a last resort. It's not an admission of failure. For many, it's the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with intention, calm, and self-respect. It means waking up without tension, moving through your day without compromise, and falling asleep, knowing your peace is protected. We've talked about 7 reasons today: the emotional toll of conflict, the messiness of finances, the loss of routine, the caregiving burden, the tension with family, the quiet loss of freedom, and the pressure to settle. Each one is real. Each one deserves consideration. And if even one of them spoke to you, you're not alone. You're not broken if you choose solitude. You're wise, you're strong. You're choosing clarity over chaos, peace over performance. And that decision deserves to be honored. So take a deep breath tonight. Ask yourself, not what others expect, but what your soul truly needs. And if the answer is stillness, simplicity, and sovereignty, embrace it fully. In our next video, we'll explore the 6 types of loneliness seniors experience and why one of them might actually be a gift. Until then, may your space be quiet, your heart be full, and your peace remain untouched by pressure.